inside. Hear me on my mind. Can't help looking, feeling something. Some love just stays blind. And I'm seeing from my eyes. On the way out, I can see it, I can hear you, can't believe it. On the way out, you said something to me. Yeah.
All right, welcome to the Weird Show. It's Weird Wednesday, 9 o'clock. Got on the stream a little late, but we do the Weird Show Wednesdays and Sundays as of late. And streaming out on a couple of one of our YouTube channel for Weird Magazine, a couple of the Facebook channels. Russell here, your guide through this fast-moving, unexpected journey of total weirdness. That's the Weird Show, and riding shotgun with me is my co-host James Bills. How are you, James?
I am doing wonderful tonight.
Right on, man. We're just gonna have a couple of weird things going on that I wanted to address. And this is
That's my son.
yeah, this is killer music.
Yeah, that's my son.
That's CJ, huh?
CJ Bills jamming. I never know what he's going to make. And sometimes it sounds like other stuff, but at the end of the day, it's always really good.
Yeah, that is really groovy stuff. I didn't mean to cut it off right there so cold, but yeah, no, he's way talented, man, and very impressed with him. So, what does he call his stuff?
Well, he's a lead singer with a band called Core, who actually has done real well and had a big video this past year. They actually had over 500,000 viewers on their video that they put out, and they were on over 140 different radio stations around the world, and they had a pretty good run, and even made a top 35 on the Billboard charts.
Mm-hmm.
So they did real well, and then they're in the middle of doing another album now, but he's always writing and always working with other people, and fun to watch, man, for sure. I don't know where he got his talent from, because I suck at everything I do music-wise.
Well, he's fun to listen to, too, I tell you that. So what does he call the project that's just him?
That's actually, so if you see him, he always calls himself Siege.
Yeah,
Siege.
Yeah,
Siege
yeah.
the Sound is what he is. And that actually is kind of a entourage towards, montage, you want to say, towards Stone Temple Pilots. And so,
right, you were telling me Mike wanted him to
work on something along that line and put it out, and it's still in the works, but that's the first time that it's been played for anybody really to be able to hear.
Well,
so,
I was
pretty cool.
I can't play licensed music,
right,
without a license on Facebook, and so we just have to play friends of ours, and it doesn't hurt that having published Rockstar magazine for the last 7 years. I haven't done it in over a year, but I mean, I do know a lot of guys, and that's how I come to know Core, was through Rockstar. So anyway, we've got a lot of.
So I want to touch on that.
Well, yeah,
because it's weird.
Our meeting and all.
Our meeting and all, and it's that 6 degrees of separation, and me knowing your dad through advertisement stuff with one of my businesses, and then you knowing my son through music,
through the Rockstar magazine, and then I know Mike Quinn, because Mike and I are buddies from the radio industry when we were back in '97. And Mike got me on the radio The first time I ever spoken to a microphone was Mike's fault in 1997.
Mike's fault. I love it.
He dragged me across the hall. I was a salesman in the hallway at the radio station, and Mike brought me in and said, "Hey, man, can you talk about football on the air?" It's like, "Yeah, I can talk about football. Well, you know, I'm a sports guy, so got me on the air there." But you and Mike were involved in a business deal. When I found you on Facebook, which was, I guess, just chance.
Yeah.
Your logo on your Facebook page, James, was Mike Quinn's Silverstone Records logo.
Right.
But this was a sports division that you guys were partnered on. But I had something to do with you two meeting because I introduced Core to Mike.
Correct. Yeah. So it all comes back. It's
now here you and I are doing the weird show.
Yeah, it's very weird.
It's far out. It's far out how everything turns out, man.
I believe that the cosmos has a lot of magnets, and those magnets find each other, and they help each other along the way. And I've been around a lot of people in my life that they're not very magnetic. So I don't want to be around those people. So I'm enjoying this for sure. They brought us all together.
Well, it's cool to be doing this again. I wasn't doing the weird show for a long time. I used to do this in San Marcos, and it was a big studio, and we had this big setup in there and these big giant computers and big encoders, and that was about 8 years ago. And nowadays you can just do this on cloud-based software like we have here. But anyway, really cool. Just with everything with COVID going on, I thought it was kind of cool, be opportunistic to, talk about some of the things that have been in the news. And I just missed doing the show and thought we'd do this. So it's just been really playing with the toys right now, getting used to our gear as of late. But with everybody being at home and everything, so it's just been a lot of people are doing this now.
Yeah.
It's quite popular.
I spent all day long looking for for a webcam and didn't find one, and everybody sold out of them.
Yeah, I've looked to get new webcams for this, and I'm not happy with the one over there. I guess I could put it right here in front of the monitor, but then you'd be out of the shot too. But there's no webcams, man. You can't get any. They're all out. I can order one, but it's not going to arrive until like June.
There's a couple companies that I've walked through in the last week or two that I wish I would have invested in.
Oh, yeah.
Because the shelves are empty. It's insane how empty those shelves are.
What, for the companies?
All kinds of product. I mean, stuff that you wouldn't think would be needed. In a situation like this, you don't think webcams are something you need. You think cans of beans and loaves of bread and apparently toilet paper, is what you're supposed to right now.
Mm-hmm.
But you go in there and you have headsets that are sold out. You have webcams that are sold out. You have, it's insane.
All of this stuff is been hard to get your hands on because it was like toilet paper,
right? Yeah,
cameras, toilet paper, webcams, headsets, all of this stuff. Everybody's I had to buy all of these. This little camera right here on this tripod over here is like freaking 2013. But you're like you were saying when you walked in, and they're going for a lot. A little one like that's probably $100 now. I probably paid $60 for that or $50 many years ago. All right, let's jump into some news here. I wanted to go over some of the Pentagon officially re-releases UFO footage. Now, this is old footage from 2004, if I recall. These clips that CNN's what they did is they just declassified it. This stuff was on. It's been released. They've had UFOs on a History Channel on these shows talking about this. So
here's what's really funny.
But they're declassified the information now, and that's what I think is different about all of what's.
It is. Our listeners need to know this. I am not a big UFO guy. Russell
I
is. Am. Okay. And that's one of the things that we've had good conversations about And in this circumstances here, I have seen these videos. In 2004 was the original video, and then it was actually released in 2006. There's a single video that was done by a pilot. It was released in 2006, and he was not supposed to release it because at the time it was not declassified. It was still classified information. In 2015, there were 2 more videos that were recorded by two different pilots. And
That's right.
And both of those videos were released in 2017. When they were released in 2017, they were released with the 3rd video back again from 2006. So now you had 3 videos that came out all together. And those 3 videos, again, were pulled down. They didn't want anybody having use of them because the Pentagon had not went in and verified what these were yet. They had not declassified them. Just a couple of days ago, they finally came out, declassified them, and they have said they do not know what these are. Period. They cannot say that these are anything to do with things they built.
They know what they are.
Yeah, they know what
they know what they are. They're probably U.S. Navy orbs, themselves. I don't know. I kind of there's somewhere there's footage of this underground base and we ought to bring that up. There is a footage of they've got satellite footage of this base that's out. Have you seen this? You know what I'm talking about?
I did, because I looked it up after you told me, and because it all goes together. You told me about this base that was off the California coast, and I don't ever completely doubt anything. So I went and looked it up to see, and sure enough, there's what is believed to be a base off the coast. And if you listen to Alex Jones actually talks about this, and he talks about shapeshifters and stuff involved with it. Yes, and
he doesn't ever talk about UFOs.
Yes, he talks about shapeshifters and that being part of this.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So when you hear that, when you hear them, where you hear anything like that, you got to go look it up. And yes, and so if you look at this thing here, these particular videos that were videoed of the 3 UFOs, they were right off the coast where this is at, not far off.
Yeah, and this is a clip from the Jimmy Church show here on this little clip here. I heard this the other day, but yeah, this is where those UFOs were headed in 2015.
Correct.
And so I think they may have been, trying to get.
Ads. I love ads. Oh. Are you confident you have enough money? Well, go back to your just right there. There's a map. See, I seen this map right here. This is what I looked at. And,
okay, yeah,
the Santa Monica Basin. Yeah.
Well, there's also a good bit of I'm reading a book called Selected by Extraterrestrials, and the author worked for the U.S. Navy. That's William Tompkins. And he had neighbors that lived out there in Santa Monica, and he lived out there himself and said that it was not a strange occurrence for people to see strange objects flying over the coastline near the Santa Monica Bay. And this was common, very common, they said, for this. And
see, the first time I ever went to California, when we took off from there, LAX, the first thing we did was went out over the ocean, made a hard bank, and come back in, and then went back towards Texas. And when that very first time I saw that, not long after that, the very first time that happened, not long after that, I saw some stuff that come out about this, and they said, that these planes are flying off that these particular UFOs are flying off the coast and that type of stuff. And instantly, my debunk is, well, every plane that takes off out of LAX just about that goes back east makes that hard bank and comes over the ocean. But these particular videos that just came out, those are not airplanes.
No, these are not.
Yeah.
These are not airplanes at all. There is a good clip here from Fade to Black with Jimmy Church where they talk about this. I don't know. I wouldn't make it a habit of playing other clips, but this is just audio only, so it's not going to show you a whole lot there. It'd be rather to show. But they had the witnesses. I think the pilots are on here. So if you check out the Jimmy Church show, you can see and hear that the interview with someone named Maxwell, who contacted them last month with the Google Earth images showing something odd underwater off the coast of Malibu. Church was then asked his graphic designer, Dale Romero, to capture as many angles and images of the anomaly as they could themselves. And then the Jimmy Church show's guys released this. I need him to find a way to get under and above the water, Church said. My first impression was that it was Greek. It looked artificial and didn't look natural. So when you're looking down from above, it's nearly a perfect oval shape, Church continues. In the natural surroundings, nothing is symmetrical. Everything is eroded. He's talking about this, and you can look at this. So this looks that, natural formation. You can see the cliffs, but then either this is poorly photoshopped or something's there. I don't know. I think that's kind of where they're going with these images that they have been. See there, I don't know. But hey, are the UFOs flying in and out of Malibu? I don't know, but this is suspicious. But this has been coming. This has been around. These images have been around for a few years.
I wonder what depths those are.
Oh, they have guessed. They have estimates on here based on Google Earth's imagery. This is like, I don't know, kilometers long right here.
Yeah, it's it. And when I saw the pictures of it not too long back, when I was looking at it, I thought to myself, that's not a normal shape for sure.
Well, if you've seen those pictures of the Mars pyramids, from the 90s, right. You could see the face on Mars. And then if you go back in 2000 and try to see the same pictures of Mars, they look way photoshopped out. Like, it's wind erosion now. They're not there anymore. That was just a shadow of light, the faces on Mars and the Sidonia area. So what do you think? Is there an underground underwater base in Malibu? Leave a comment. I don't know. That's pretty trippy.
What I'd like to do sometime, Russell, is maybe get some pilots on here. We get pilots that are listening that have seen some stuff before, and even if you're not military, I don't care if you've ever were a crop duster. It doesn't matter.
Oh yeah.
If you've ever seen anything as a pilot, we would love for y'all to come on here and talk some stuff.
Well, the funny thing is, I don't know where Dave Newman is, but Dave was a pilot, and he was the studio owner where we used to do the Weird Show, in 2011. And Dave was a pilot, commercial air pilot, flew the Saudi Arabian oil ministers around on the airline that he flew for. But and Dave was a huge skeptic, man. Even though he was a pilot, and he had friends that were afraid to talk about that stuff. They didn't want to be blacklisted as a pilot, especially when you're flying for commercial airline or But Dave was pretty skeptic, man, for a pilot himself. But I have, there are guys that come out there and talk about it, that they experience things, and as an airline pilot. I've seen the only time I've ever even seen UFOs was a handful of times in the early mid 90s. And one was here in Austin, right by the Austin airport, probably in 95. It was a long time ago. And I never seen another one again.
I've had two experiences. One with my brother and my wife in the car going down the road, and something come across and stopped and took off the other way, which was really weird. And then the other time was this past year. I told you about when I was flying back I was flying in from I think I was flying in from LA. Anyways, when I was flying in, we had a plane, what looked to be a plane, flew from the left of us and was coming straight at the front of our plane. And I thought, man, that thing is getting really close. Where is that? 35,000 feet. And then all of a sudden it just turns and just goes back the way it came. And I thought, yeah, something's really weird on that. But you can tell there's some lights on there, so you can see the left and right side. You can tell it looks like a plane. It was just awkward the way that it turned. But And I'm one of those guys that likes to try to debunk stuff first before I, completely say, I'm going down that rabbit hole today.
Well, I've been in that rabbit hole since the 90s, man. And hey, what's up, CBD Tim? I met Tim earlier and asked him to tune into the show tonight, follow the channel. I haven't seen a damn UFO, James, since the 90s, since the mid 90s. And I'm as crazy as everybody, and people know that I've had a long history of being, a UFO guy and interested in all this stuff. And I had that one sighting in 95. I had another one in 96. I had two in 96 and one in 95, and never again. But the one in 95 was right looking. I lived off of Burnett Road in North Loop, and my second story balcony apartment, you could see this little white dot just kind of coming up and down and zigzagging over, and it would go below the tree line and then come back. This guy, he's like, this guy is where every video he's got is practically coming down off of the internet and some of the major interviews.
It's weird.
He sounds good. He sounds good to me.
He sounds great.
I'm impressed with the guy.
But what's really crazy is the same stuff we've been talking about for the last 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is that he has a huge platform, and for a guy that has the platform of his size to be able to step up and say what he's saying right now, it almost makes me scared for him. It's a lot of this type of stuff you don't want to talk about. You don't want to bring up at that level. Well, at our level right now, they're going to have to dig on us a little bit. They got to get these guys first.
Yeah.
And this guy is seriously, he talks about a lot of stuff, goes in a lot in depth that we already talked about and believe that is true.
Well, both of these, I subscribe to this channel, and they have great interviews. What's this guy's name? The host. He's got everybody.
Batar? Yeah, Batar.
Yeah, the host.
Valutainment
guy.
Ben. Yeah.
I can't. Patrick. Yeah, he interviews everybody. I mean, anybody who's anybody gets interviewed. Yeah, Patrick Bet David. There he is.
Yeah, that's it. Patrick Bet David.
Anyway, he had this guy on recently because the guy's been having a lot of criticism. A lot of the videos that he's been interviewed on are coming off the web. Bet David said in this interview that I saw this morning, said that he has a great relationship with YouTube and hasn't had any problems with any of the videos that Valutainment puts out. So this one will probably not go down. But a lot of people on the internet are saying this guy is not the real deal, but I haven't seen anything otherwise.
Patrick or Batard?
Batard.
Yeah, Batard is. So I've seen that too. I've seen a lot of people say that he's actually a fake, that he's not actually a doctor and stuff like that. But if you look him up, he is. I mean, everything.
He's one of the top 50.
Yeah, I mean, he all the credits are there. All the paperwork's in line.
I like that he's passionate about all of this. Did you watch this one today? I sent this to you earlier today, and I saw all of it, and I saw another one that he was on with Gary French, and that was a couple of weeks ago. In fact, Bet David refers to the French one. The French one, Gary French's interview with him, I think, came down.
You know what really gets me about Bet David is that he does a good job of staying down the middle. He's not jumping left or right on any of this stuff. A lot of the people that he interviews, a lot of the people that he interviews on his show is left or right. He don't stay with one side. And while he's interviewing Batard, if you look, he's genuinely interested in what he's saying, taking notes and writing all kinds of information down. And so I enjoy watching people like that. But I think he is very eye-opening. Batard is very eye-opening to Bet David because I think that Patrick already had some of these thoughts. You can see it. You can hear it. Some of the questions he asked. He already has some of the thoughts in there. And I'm interested to see if this stuff lines up like it's like in the end. You know, we were talking about the elevated numbers for the money. You know, talking about New York's numbers are so elevated compared to everybody else's. And, you know, New York, they're getting paid $12,000 per coronavirus COVID-19 victim, or I don't want to say victim, or whoever's been put in a hospital for it. They're getting paid $12,000 for it. And then in Florida, they're getting paid $132,000 a person. So you would think that in that situation, Florida would want to mock its numbers up if it wanted to load it up. But the fact is that they're not in Florida. So I was listening to another guy earlier today that was talking about if you're getting $12,000 per person in New York and you're filling up your hospital beds left and right, that's a drop in the bucket, really,